Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Live, or let's crack open our cosmic egg. So, it's another beautiful day in Blackstone, the center of the world, but then you too are the center of the world. The other night, a couple of nights ago, my wife and a friend of ours had an unexpected fun trip to Food Line. And so the title of this talk is The Joy of Poverty. So now this is more or less a metaphorical experience. So anyway, I'm on Social Security, my wife and I, and we get paid in the middle of the month, and the third Wednesday of the month. And so we ran out of money. So so we're broke. So we got out our piggy banks and our collection of coins and got all of our coins together and then counted them out. And then we went to Food Line, and they have a big coin exchanger there. And so you just dump all the coins in there, and it cranks. It's like Las Vegas, and it counts it and spits out the ones that don't fit. And you put them back in, and so anyway, we got $30. And so then we went, we did our grocery shopping, and mindful of the limitation, and came out around $30. We had a few extra dollars in our pocket to, I think it was $35. So, and it was great fun. And so, and I think we came home and had a pizza, and but anyway, so this morning I was reflecting back on that, and we all had such a good time being poor, being empty. And so I just wanted to talk about the joy of poverty, which comes about when we're empty of anxiety. It's kind of like we live in an anxious world of error correction. So we're always trying to correct the error, which is based on anxiety. If I could fix that error, if I could fix that opinion, if I could fix that other person, if I could fix this situation, I would be joyous. I would be free from problem. I'd be free from anxiety, you see. But anxiety-based thinking just creates more anxiety. Error correction just creates more error. Look at our culture. Our culture is basically a system of error correction. We live in a great monoculture of technology, which basically exists to correct error. But every correction creates more error. The classic example is DDT. I remember DDT. Back in World War II, I mean, if you had a bug, put some DDT on it. DDT was the magic. Just spray DDT and all the problems, all the errors go away. Well, look, how did that work out? You see. So, and if you look at all of our medical problems, a friend of mine is taking 12 different medications. Each one to correct a problem, some of which are the problems created by the other medication. And who knows what new problems are being generated by the unpredictable combination of all these medications. We're all struggling in that scenario. Medications keep multiplying because new problems come up created by the previous problems or errors, you see. So this pharmaceutical error correction is out of control because we don't know what the truth is anymore. We don't know what our original health is anymore. So the whole culture is kind of like a Titanic that steered away from its true course, chasing the latest error, chasing the latest problem. If I could solve that, we'd be back on course. But we'll notice that the Titanic is going in a huge circle, you see. chasing error. This is the my favorite. I'll bring it back up. This is my favorite metaphor. Excuse me, my thing is hung up here. The Ouroboros. You see, here we are. Culture chasing error. Our own mind chasing error. Error, error, error. Mistake, mistake. Fault, fault, fault. Blame, blame, blame. And if we could notice that, you see. But you can only notice that from the joy of poverty. You can only notice error when there's a shift. Because if you haven't made that shift, then everything is focused on getting rid of the error. So anything that doesn't focus on that is nuts, is insane, you see. That's why meditation is not very popular, because it's not focused on correcting the errors. Why do you want to sit there, get up and do something? What good is that? What's the purpose in just sitting? You're not doing anything to correct the errors. You're not doing anything to make something, to get somewhere. There's no purpose in that, you see. Purpose is in correcting the errors. Meaning is in correcting the errors. And then you get into people, all of us, who value ourselves on our ability to correct the errors in other people. I'm valuable and I have purpose because I can correct the errors in other people. In our spouse, in our children, in other people, on Facebook, you see. We're all invested in being in error correction, either feeling unworthy because we feel that when I identify with the error, when I identify with being a mistake, you see, then I'm in a depression. Then I'm in a state of self-accusation. Or I identify with the person who corrects the error. Now I'm a psychologist. I'm going to fix you. See, I'm the fixer. I'm going to correct the error, you see. So the world divides into those who are victims and those who are the error creator. I mean, the error corrector, which of course needs victims. So the whole thing, you see, is a big Ouroboros chasing its own tail. And we can't, there's no way out of this. Because the power we use to correct error is thought. Thinking. You see. We live in a thought-generated culture. Everything is created by thought. And we use thought to correct the errors. But thought itself is an error. Thought, separated from its ground of the inside heart, is a mind, brain that is chasing its own tail. So the only way out of this dilemma is through is a dynamic seeing or awakening that sees the futility of error correction. We have to come to a point where we have a gestalt. I see that this whole fabric, this whole enterprise of myself in the world is flawed. There's a misperception. There's a misalignment. There's this alignment with something external, which is an alignment through thought, that the cause of my misery, unhappiness, dissatisfaction is an error out there. And then I try to find it. I blame it. I remove it, you see. But that is instead of putting my goal, my eye on the prize, which is my own heart, you see, my unity with the world, I focus my attention on my disunity with the world, which is error. So we've lost truth. Truth is unity with the world. You see, untruth is disconnection, disunity, error. Chasing the cause of my disunity, you see. So that's anxiety driven. So the whole thing of the modern American culture is becoming more and more, and we can see this, anxiety driven. There's this floating anxiety that we're somehow off course. So they take a poll. What, about 70 people, 70% say we're off course. But how do you get back on course? Well, you get rid of the error. So Trump says we get back on course if you get rid of the immigrants. Or if you get rid of this or that, you see. If you get rid of Obamacare. Yes, if you get rid of Obama, we'll get back on course. And then you get rid of Obama's footprints. Yes, Obama's footprints, Obamacare. All the things, all the tracks Obama, get rid of that. We'll be back on course. That's the map we're going by. You see? So, I use this, I forgot to put my timer up. So I'll just, so I'm off course. So, a shift from the flat map of error to the GPS inner navigator of the heart. I always come back to this metaphor because it is so everyday mind. The flat map is the flat map. It's a map, and it's space-time map. And you want to go from Blackstone from your center to some other place, and there's only one way to go. And that takes time. There's here, and then it takes how much time does it take to get there, you see? So when I get there, you see, I'll be free from anxiety. I'll be free from the separation. You know, that's kind of like a metaphorical map is. So we believe when I get to where I'm going on the flat map, however long it takes, whatever vehicle I may use yoga, I may use meditation, I may use A Course in Miracles, I may use politics, whatever we use, we're going from here to there, and there is the place where I'll be free from anxiety. And I'll be back on course, you see. But I have to get there. And there's only one way to get there. And then everybody will pick up the way, their course, their path, and that will be the one they follow. And everyone else is wrong. There's only one way, you see. If you're religious, there's only one way, the way of Jesus, and everyone else is wrong. But all of these ways are on a flat map. You see, you have to follow the map. And of course, we're always getting into error. And you idiot, you took a wrong turn. Or you made a mistake. You idiot, get back. There's only one way. Ministers and English teachers love this because both are basically telling there's only one dictionary, one Bible, and that's the way. One spelling, one use, you see. So there's whole professions, you see, are born on instructing you on the correct way. So we all know that particular map. But there's a new map out that we love to use, the GPS navigator. And I, of course, bring this up again because it's such a perfect metaphor for the shift from thought, the way of thought and anxiety, to the way of the heart and poverty. So that when we plug into the GPS navigator, the navigator is within me. So wherever I go, I write in where I'm going to go, and then I go. And no matter which way I turn, it's never an error. I mean, I'm always going home. So I'm always being course corrected, you see. Never faulted, just corrected. Turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right, you see. So it's kind of like a sailing ship tacking in the wind. It's so you tack in the wind, but you're always going home. You don't get off chasing an error, you see. Trying to fix the error, you're faulted, you see. Or the sin. Error and sin are the same in different contexts, you see. Error would be the sin of in everyday life, but sin is a religious term. But they both mean the same. You're separated, you're off course. You're not on the way, you see. So, but when the navigator is our own heart, is in our center, you see, then I'm always course correcting towards unity. The heart is the awareness or awareness of unity, but it's not conscious. See, the mind is conscious. The heart is the gyro compass that points towards unity. Always unity. Always greater wholes. Always truth, you see. Truth is the whole that includes everything. Always towards God, but not as an object. Always the unfolding of God. So the path of the heart is an unfolding of truth, not a searching for it, not on a flat map trying to get to truth, but the developmental unfolding of truth. So this is why the path of the heart is a pathless path, because you unfold it as you go. You unfold your development. You unfold your potential as you move. You don't have to get to it because you are in error, you see. If I'm on the flat map, I'm moving towards truth because I feel like I'm in error. Something's missing. Something is incomplete. There's an error here, you see. There's a sin here. I've got to get to salvation. I've got to get to completeness. I've got to get to wholeness. I've got to get free of this anxiety, you see. So, getting back to, coming around back to the title, The Joy of Poverty. Poverty is another name for emptiness. And what is emptiness but emptiness of thought? And emptiness of thought is emptiness of anxiety. And emptiness of anxiety is emptiness of error, you see. So when you get down, when you are empty, again we're speaking in metaphorical terms, when you are in poverty or emptiness, you're kind of like a virgin mind. You're empty of the accumulated eras of time and the endless process of removing them. There is no era. When you are empty, or when you're then the heart, you see, is empty. The heart is empty because it is not driven by, there's no thought in the heart. The heart is always whole, so it always knows where wholeness is. So it's always unfolding wholeness. The heart is perfection, so it's always unfolding perfection. And there's always course corrections, but never chasing error, because error does not exist as a legitimate fact, because error is not in alignment with the whole. Error does not exist. This is why they say, the world is an illusion, or the appearance that the world is an illusion. It's not real. Well, error is not real because it does not, it's not in alignment with the whole. See? So only the whole is real, and only the whole is perfect. So when we are in alignment with our inner perfection, or the God who dwells within us as us, you see, when we are awakened to that, then we are unfolding wholeness. And there's no error. There's course correction, but there's no error, you see. There's no sin. You're always unfolding wholeness. You're always, that is a creative, dynamic, creative relationship with life. You're always creating wholeness. So wholeness, you see, is created by you could call it love. Love is created by you when you are in alignment with the heart, as if it were a GPS navigator. Isn't that interesting? The joy of poverty. Okay, thanks for dropping in, and I'll see you this evening.